Everything. Just waiting on Instagram to go live and then I'm gonna get started. So in this video, I'm gonna be covering the cost of one bad hire. I've been talking to a lot of owners this week. So I want to hit you guys with some fact-based data and statistics about why trying to hire and staff your companies on your own is costing you thousands of dollars each year. So I may need to share my screen at some point, but most of this is going to just be kind of me talking to you guys based on some notes that I've taken. So first and foremost, a little background on me. My name's Feldon Richards. I've been running a successful fix and flip business from home for a little over 6 years. Uh, you know, Made a really good living from it, generated multiple seven figures. And so I'm here to talk to you today about hiring because I've helped multiple companies hire and staff their businesses, and they've seen a lot of success from it. So what's the problem? Right? So most phone repair shop owners think that they're saving money by handling hiring and HR themselves, when in reality, it's one of the most expensive mistakes that you can make in this industry. So I'm going to break down the real stats around turnover, hidden costs, and why most shops are bleeding profit without even realizing it. So first off, let's start with the cost of a bad hire, right? According to the Society for Human Resource Management, which is the largest professional association in the world with over 325,000 members across 165 countries. So what they do is they publish research about best practices and best benchmarks that HR professionals and business owners can use, including statistics on hiring, turnover, and the cost of a bad hire. So when I talk about them, I just want to let you know that I'm using a credible industry standard for as a reference point. Okay, moving right along. So home, talking about turnover. So when we look at industries like collision repair, which is similar in scale and pay scale to the phone repair industry, the average turnover rate is about 30 to 40% per year. For phone repair, especially shops without clear systems, it can be even higher. I've seen shops churning through 50% or more, up to as high as 70% of their staff every single year. And this also applies similarly to mobile cell phone shops, not just phone repair shops. So think about that. If you have four technicians, you might be replacing one to two of them every 12 months. Now, each replacement costs you tens of thousands of dollars in lost profit and retraining. So this is why most shops get stuck making 20 to $30,000 a month in revenue because they can't scale because they're constantly plugging holes. So outside of that, let's talk about the owner's hidden costs. And this is what a lot of people don't really talk about, the owner's time. Now, studies show that small business owners spend 25 to 35% of their time on HR tasks when they do it themselves. So that's interviews, payroll, writing the jobs, dealing with turnover, and being completely honest, most of them don't even know how to do any of that stuff. Most owners don't have any real world experience for job interviews outside of them asking questions that they think are right. They don't have a real evaluation process like tests to screen employees. They don't really have a real way to handle payroll outside of Zelle or other apps like that. Most of them have no professional background writing job ads. And so when they ask me why people are quitting, I kind of chuckle because, well, if you have no background in HR, interviewing, payroll, writing a job ad, why are you surprised when people don't apply or they don't stick? So let's put a dollar value on all the time that you waste on that. And let's just say for argument's sake that your time is worth 100 an hour. Well, then you're losing about 50 grand a year in opportunity cost. That's 50 grand that you could have spent driving sales, building relationships, training your team, but instead you're trapped in the HR cycle because well, you don't think it makes sense to invest in just dedicating funds toward HR. All right. Now I've had conversations with some owners and they think, well, I'll just pay above the market and give great benefits. And yes, that helps, but it's not enough. So another organization that I look at for surveys, right? It's called Gallup. They found that 70% of employee engagement comes down to the management quality. And what does that mean? Well, if you're not a good manager, it doesn't matter how great your benefits are. Nobody's going to work for your company. You couldn't pay them enough to stay there. They're always going to be looking, and your turnover is always going to be high because you don't know how to manage employees, right? So one of the things that I've started doing is training managers how to manage because it doesn't matter how many employees I get you if you don't have the proper management style to retain them. So that means that techs are going to stay because of the culture, your growth paths, and recognition, not just the paycheck. If there's no plan for advancement, no systems to keep people engaged, then they're going to leave and you're going to be right back at square one, repeating the cycle. So it doesn't matter how much you invest into training and all this other stuff if you don't have good management quality in your organization. All right. So to solve all of these problems, this is why I built structured hiring and management systems for repair shops. Every tech we bring on is backed by a guarantee. So if someone quits or they don't stay long enough, we have systems and guarantees in place to make sure that you're not short staffed. On top of that, because I'm experienced in repair, I can also provide on-site training because I'm qualified in repairs myself. That means there are certain things that I can personally train your techs to do, like screen repairs, back repairs, and for the more advanced repairs, I can recommend people to do that. So that saves a lot in wasted screens, batteries, and other parts. So the bottom line is that one good hire, it it's invaluable. It's invaluable. And that's not even getting into the math behind what it what what it costs when you hire someone and don't properly train them. So if you're ready to stop losing money on turnover and start scaling your shop, let's talk. All right. So with that, I'm pretty much